Chief Meteorologist David Bernard joins us with the latest track and projected intensity.
Guys, this one just came in within the last 3 or 4 minutes. We have an increase in the winds tonight from 45 to 50 miles per hour. So some very slight and steady strengthening continues with Barry from when it was first developed at 10 o'clock this morning with 40-mile-per-hour winds. It's still not moving. I mean, it's moving west at 3, but it's basically stationary right now. So not much change. 85 miles south-southwest of the mouth of the Mississippi River. And that light west wind is probably going to continue in west movement for the foreseeable future. Notice yesterday we had that southwest track, and now that kind of turn to the west has continued. Where do we go from here? It looks like over the next 24 hours, a gradual turning to the west-northwest should be expected. Winds could increase to near hurricane force. It's not explicitly calling it to be a hurricane. It might briefly become one, but that's not the important part of the story. It's really going to be about the rainfall and the coastal flood, the floods that are going to occur, storm surge in Terrebonne and particularly Barataria Bay, where it's likely going to be the heaviest. So that's tomorrow evening, close to the coastline, and that northwest movement continuing. No change in the track. Still forecasting a landfall somewhere near Terrebonne Parish or perhaps St. Mary's Parish going into New Iberia in the Atchafalaya Basin near hurricane strength on Saturday morning. Now the cone has narrowed considerably as confidence increases and we get closer in time to the landfall, but the story remains the same, is that we are going to be on the east side of this storm where the most impacts are likely going to occur. Then by Saturday afternoon, only a very slow movement over 12 hours through South Louisiana, giving lots of time for heavy rain near and to the east of where the storm makes landfall. And then it speeds up some into Sunday and begins to weaken over portions of Arkansas, but probably still bringing a lot of rainfall. Here's the latest hurricane hunter to go through, and they found those flight level winds at 56 miles per hour. That's enough to call it a 50-mile-per-hour storm. And these are where they were marking the center. And notice it was sort of a drift down to the south. So it's kind of an erratic movement really right now. And it's been doing that for like the last 6 to almost 12 hours. It's getting a little bit gusty out there. Look at some of the offshore wind gusts. This just operates off the mouth of the river to the east near 50 miles per hour, 44 here, 36 at the mouth of the river, Port Fourchon 33, and right now up at the lakefront, we're gusting to 31 miles per hour. So obviously those are going to be increasing throughout the day. And the wave heights are running 10 to 15 feet out here over the Gulf. Those will come up, especially if the storm continues to strengthen, and those waves will begin piling into southeast Louisiana during the day tomorrow and particularly on Saturday. So this is kind of a mess on the satellite. I mean, it does not look great at all, and what's been really killing it all day is the dry air coming in. Remember, if you see the yellows and the reds, that's dry air in the atmosphere, and that's been eating into the storm. But with this little front, this dip coming down, that may be cutting off that flow of dry air. We don't see as much of it over Georgia heading into the Gulf, so that may give Barry a chance to get even stronger overnight. There's the dip we're talking about tonight. That moves off the east coast tomorrow, but leaves a piece behind, which may start the turn to the north. And then the steering kind of breaks down on Saturday. But by late Saturday, high pressure starts building into the Gulf, and the southerly winds around that should give it a nudge on Sunday to get it moving a little bit faster. Computer models tonight are really starting to tighten up, and that's the Hurricane Center track in pink along with their forecast points, and you see not a lot of divergence in there from the consensus model, and that's the main reason that the Hurricane Center is not changing its track. Not much on Viper right now, just some light showers coming into the area, but we're all under a flood watch until Sunday morning, and by tomorrow night the flood risk goes to a moderate level 3 and then a high risk for flooding across the entire part of southeast Louisiana on Saturday. Where that heavy rain band ends up is anyone's guess at this point. So all we could do is say we're all at risk for significant flooding as we go throughout the day on Saturday. But the entire southeast and south central Louisiana area is painted on here with anywhere from 10 to 20 inches of rain, with a bullseye in this location based on the idea that the storm is going to come in like this. And so just to the east where the center comes in, say 50 or 60 miles, is where there might be the highest risk for heavy rains. But look, this is even a 10 to 15 inch band posted over the city. The chance for tropical storm force winds are continue to increase, 66% at Jean Lafitte, New Orleans 57%, Homa 77%. So pretty good bet, especially south of the lake. We're going to have tropical storm force winds, tropical storm warning in blue, hurricane warning west of Grand Isle, since the storm may briefly become a hurricane. And we're also watching for the possibility of storm surge, particularly in the pink area where we have a storm surge warning. If you're outside a levee protection area, guys, and you've been asked to evacuate, please heed the advice of emergency management and local government officials. Most of you guys know where those low-lying spots are, or if you live there. All right, more on what's ahead for Saturday, which is probably going to be the most impactful day. We'll have that with the rest of your Weather Authority forecast.
All right, we'll see you in a few. Thanks, Dave.